the ClubSport Steering Wheel F1 2020. It's Fanatec's latest Formula 1 wheel rim and latest wheel rim designed to be used with the Fanatec wheelbases from the CSLE Elite all the way up to the Fanatec DD2. Now many of you will be saying this is a very similar wheel rim to the Fanatec ClubSport Formula V2 wheel rim. And you would be correct. However, there are three key differences: the leather grips, the magnetic shifters out of the box, and its glorious dragon-slaying carbon finish. In order to take a closer look at the differences between the new wheel rim and the older ones, I have here a Fanatec wheel rim, another Fanatec wheel rim, and another Fanatec wheel rim. You can never have too many wheel rims, unless you speak to a lady, in which case she'll say one wheel rim is far too many wheel rims. But, of course, most of Fanatec wheel rims use Alcantara, or in the case of the wheel rim that comes with the Podium DD1, suede. The difference with that is that with Alcantara and suede, if you don't use gloves, you will find that it wears down and your luxurious looking finish on your wheel will start to look a bit tattered, though still work perfectly fine. So you really do need to wear gloves with Alcantara and suede. But with the leather finish, you can just go naked with your hands on the wheel rim and it'll be perfectly fine, and generally will probably look the same after many years of use. That's certainly my experience with the leather finish on wheels. In terms of grip, if you are wearing gloves, personally I find the gloves actually grip onto Alcantara and suede a little bit better than leather, and also if you have quite sweaty hands and you're not wearing gloves, with leather sometimes that can be a little bit slippy. But with the grips on this wheel rim, I don't really think that's going to be that much of a problem. It's just down to personal preference really, but the actual leather finish on the Fanatec F1 2020 wheel rim is really nice. It's just coating over there. It's solid. There's no sort of squish to it or anything. It's just a leather finish. You might like it, or you might not. Now, in terms of the shifters, which I think is probably the most important aspect of this, is these new magnetic shifters on here are quite a bit better than the non-magnetic shifters that you'll find on some of the older Fanatec wheel rims. Again, personal preference, if you prefer your shifters to be a little bit stiffer and a little bit more punchy when it comes to actual gear shifts. So with the older shifters, it's just sort of a spring and a kind of button. And it is, it's more of like a linear force, and then you feel the actual paddle hit against the metal to know that you've really got the gear shift in there. Same with the, this is using the Universal Xbox hub. Same sort of mechanism. As opposed to the magnet shifters, let's say on the Fanatec F1 rim for the Podium, Fanatec Podium DD, this has the Fanatec Podium magnetic shifters on it. It's a much more defined click, and again, on the F1 2020 wheel rim, the magnetic shifter, it's a lot more of a defined click. It's just a little bit tighter, a little bit more immediate. If you like weaker shifters and you like a little bit more travel with your shifter, then you might actually prefer the older one. But for me personally, I really like this sort of neodymium magnet type shifter, and it's great that hopefully Fanatec start using these shifters across the other wheel rims, and I believe at some point they will sell these magnetic shifters separately, so you could attach them to the other Fanatec wheels, but I don't know the exact details with that. But comes in the box with this F1 2020 wheel rim, really nice, really decisive click, really helps you when driving a Formula car to not accidentally shift a gear when you don't want to, but also to really quickly punch down through the gears when you're coming into a braking zone from a high speed. So that's a really nice addition to this wheel rim. The final aspect, of course, is the actual overall visual appearance of it. Now, I said at the start, you've got the carbon plate there, the 5mm forged carbon. It just looks really nice. It's really, you can see it in the video and the pictures of it. It's just a really nicely presented wheel. You've got it also on the actual shifter paddles as well, and they're totally rigid. Even if you're shifting at the right top corner of the shifter paddle, it could just be like a bit of steel, to be honest. It doesn't feel any real flex in that. It's, you know, totally rigid, and it just looks nice. It just looks racy. I mean, this is going on a sim rig. Weight is not particularly important in sim racing. It's just a sort of nice visual feature. It's something for you to lust over whilst you're enjoying driving, because, you know, I spend most of my time actually looking at the steering wheel rather than looking at the racing line, which is my excuse for driving most people off the racetrack. The other aspect of the visual appearance, which might not be immediately obvious, is the button caps on this. And I actually think this is kind of this sort of caught me by surprise, because I hadn't got any Fanatec wheel rims with these before, or had them separately. But the button caps on these, like all the Fanatec wheel rims, are removable. But this uses the button caps that have a sort of gap in them, allowing you to then stick stickers on them. And the wheel itself comes with a whole bunch of stickers, and for some reason also something to pluck your eyebrows with. I don't know what that's for, but it comes with a whole bunch of stickers, allowing you to then completely customise the colour of your buttons, what those buttons potentially do depending on what you map them in with each simulator. You've got like white buttons here with all the text on them for the directions, indicators and everything, and then a whole bunch of additional stickers for, you know, box, escape, pause, you know, anything you could possibly want, all in that sticker set, all included with the wheel. And also, you know, if you were to buy the buttons separate, which you can buy in addition on the Fanatec website if you just search button caps, I actually think that's really good. It's surprisingly good. Obviously not the main reason that you're buying this, but it just gives you that extra degree of customization and allows you to really butcher the visual appearance of what is a very visually appealing wheel to look at. You can, if you really want to, just take all the buttons off, or the button caps off, and use them without anything on. You know, if you want to go naked with the wheel. Other than that, I'm going to be critical about it, because I'm here to be critical. I would say the one thing that disappoints me about this wheel rim is that the rotary encoders, typically what you'd probably use for brake bias up and down, or, you know, various other settings where you're tweaking them on the fly a lot, they're still a little bit too loose. If you're wearing gloves and you then use these rotary encoders, it's quite easy when you're pushing other options, if you're being aggressive or if you go crazy on the steering, it's quite easy to accidentally rotate these, and they're the same stiffness as you'll find in the Fanatec Podium DD1 F1 wheel, and I'd imagine also the same as the other ClubSport F1 wheel. So it would have been nice if they eventually make those a bit stiffer. Other than that, really, there doesn't out of the box innately seem to be anything particularly wrong with it. We'll have to give it some extensive testing really before we can say that, to see if it's any different from the Fanatec Podium wheel, which is pretty much identical, bar the podium shifters, which, as I say, you could stick onto this at a later date if you wanted to. But yeah, we'll have a later review and coverage of that once we've had time to properly test it. I've only had this for a few days now, so this is more of just an unboxing video. But hopefully, guys, that's piqued your interest and filled in the gaps for those of you who are just curious about this wheel rim. If it has and you're looking to get one, remember we do have a Fanatec affiliate link underneath the video in the description, so you click on that before buying it. Much appreciated. And we will be live streaming and testing this on live stream, where you'll be able to ask your questions there, and I will answer them. But thanks for watching this, guys. Hopefully you now know what you wanted to know. But until the next one, happy tea drinking, happy sim racing, and goodbye.